On the edge between the world we know too and the one we've forgotten lies a land carved by time, where the earth breathes and life doesn't wait. Here, silence is not absence, it's tension. It's the sound of grass bending beneath claws, of air heavy with the scent of the hunt, of thunder roaring across the plains, as if the land itself were alive. When the sun awakens, it doesn't rise, it ignites. It burns away the morning mist, paints the shoulders of the acacias in gold, and unveils a stage where the drama of existence unfolds without pause, without script, without guarantees. In this moment, thousands of hooves shake the ground, wildebeests, zebras, gazelles, moving like a river of flesh and fear toward a destiny even they do not know. But they are not alone. Among shadows and tall grasses, eyes watch. Lions, masters of the night, await the fall of light to remind the world who truly rules this land. And between prey and predator dance the guardians of flesh and spirit. The Kai, Masai people, witnesses to the cycle, part of it, never against it. This is not just a place, it is a pulse, an ancestral breath, a name whispered by the wind along the slopes of eternity, Marawaka, the land where lions do not sleep. In southwestern Kenya, stretching as far as the eye can see, lies one of the last intact fragments of the ancient earth. This is the Masai Mara, a living extension of the Serengeti, not just a neighbor, but the same body, divided only by human, lines on a map. What begins in northern Tanzania is reborn here under a different name and follows the same timeless cycle. The Mara is part of a quilt of life stitched together with silence, dust, and persistence. Its rolling plains were shaped by centuries of erosion and ancient volcanic flow. There are no majestic mountains. There is vastness. And at the heart of that vastness, there is constant movement. With each season, the landscape sheds its skin. When the short rains arrive, the dry soil cracks open and breathes. Green bursts forth. Flowers hidden for months erupt as if the earth remembers who it is. Black swans, herons, and flocks of marabou storks trace choreographies across the sky. Rivers come back to life, like the Talek and the Sand, winding between shrubs and temporary camps. But it is a brief moment. Soon the heat returns. The ground cracks. Puddles turn into traps of mud, and dust takes over the air, mixing with sweat, with blood, with waiting. The Mara's ecosystem is a living machine. The grasses feed the herbivores. The herbivores move the carnivores. The carnivores regulate the herbivores. And when death happens, and it always does, it returns to the earth and everything begins again. Nothing is wasted. Not time, not death, not silence. It is in this raw balance, sometimes violent, but always precise, that life thrives. The Mara is not a stage. It is an organism. It breathes, it feels, it reacts. And as the world changes around it, the Mara endures. Like a primal heart beating at the center of the African savanna. In the heart of the savanna, a colossal movement comes to life. It is an endless exodus, a cycle that neither begins nor ends. It simply continues. Every year, more than 1.5 million wildebeest leave the dry plains of the Serengeti. They do not leave by choice. They are guided by an invisible call as ancient as the earth, a drive stronger than exhaustion, stronger than fear. They do not go alone. Alongside them march hundreds of thousands of zebras and Thompson's gazelles. Together, these species form the largest land migration of mammals on the planet, a living tide that breaks across the horizon and erases the trails behind it. There is no leader, no map, only direction. When the air begins to smell like rain, they know. They move in tight formation as if closeness could protect them. But the savanna is unforgiving. Every kilometer takes its toll. The weakest fall. Predators follow the trail. And then they reach the rivers. The Mara and the Talek become deadly barriers. Their banks are marked by footprints, dried blood, and silence. Giant crocodiles wait beneath the surface, motionless, invisible. The first leap is always the hardest. But when one jumps, the others follow. Chaos erupts, horns clash, bodies sink, panic, mud, water, and teeth. For every 1,000 that try, some never surface again, but those who cross keep going. And with them, the migration continues. In a matter of days, the landscape changes once more. The plains of the Masai Mara bloom with life. The green grasses stir again under the weight of thousands of hooves. The ground trembles, the dust rises, and, for a brief moment, it feels as though the savannah breathes in relief. But the cycle is far from over. When the grass dries out once more, they will leave, again, and again, and again. When the sun goes down in the Masai Mara, the silence changes its tone. It's not the absence of sound, it's the presence of what hides. In the darkness, the savannah belongs to others, and none is more feared than the lion. Here, sleep is a luxury and fear is law. In the heart of an isolated plain near the Talek River lives the Olobor Pride. 6 adults, 3 hunting females, 2 dominant males, and 1 young male on the rise. They rule a vast stretch of territory, with borders marked not by fences, but by scent, blood, and conflict. During the day, they are motionless shadows beneath the acacias, bodies stretched under the sun, as if nothing could threaten them. But at night, everything changes. The eyes light up first, yellow, fixed, then comes the movement. Silent, methodical, the females lead, always. They are the engine of survival. They are the ones who hunt, who organize, who sustain the group. Tonight, one of them separates from the group. Her paws glide over the damp grass. Each step is calculated. A gust of wind carries her scent. A herd of wildebeest rests ahead. She stops, watches, waits. The group aligns. Each lioness takes her position. There are no words, only instinct, sharpened over generations. The attack is brutal and brief. A charge, a cry, dust rises, and when it settles, silence returns. The hunt was successful. Soon the males approach, heavy, slow, demanding priority over the meat. The lionesses retreat. The young one hesitates, watching from a distance. He does not yet have a place. During the feast, hyenas draw near. 1, then 2, then 10. The growls grow louder, the tension builds, but the hyenas know the limits. Tonight, they don't dare cross them. In the distance, a deep roar cuts through. The savannah. It's not a threat. It's a warning. The Olobor are alive, and this territory is still theirs. In the Masai Mara, kingdoms are conquered, inherited, or lost in a single night. But as long as this group breathes, as long as these lionesses hunt, as long as fear governs the silence, the lions will continue to rule. Here, where the heat dances across the earth and the wind carries the scent of dust and blood, life does not walk alone. The savannah appears to be a stage of predators and prey, but that is only the surface. The truth pulses beneath it. Every movement, every step, every gaze is ruled by laws not written by men, laws that do not forgive the distracted. When the wildebeest falls under the lion's fangs, the show does not end there. It begins. Hyenas smell it before the blood dries. Vultures circle high above like sentinels of the end. Even the smallest dung beetle knows exactly when to arrive. Torn skin becomes shelter. Exposed bone, nourishment. Silence, a summons. Father, on an elephant, pushes through trees, opening corridors for gazelles that will never see him. A hippopotamus sinks into a muddy river, unknowingly fertilizing the soil that will feed herds. And among the dust and hooves, termites build underground cathedrals that regulate the very temperature of the earth. No one rules Marawaka, yet all somehow obey. The vulture that cleans the carcass, the mouse that spreads the seeds, the hyena that laughs in the dark. There is an order here, invisible, relentless, and profoundly alive. In Marawaka there is no such thing as chance, only balance, wild, subtle, and eternal.